Yes team, welcome back to the channel. For those that are new here, this channel is all about everything triathlon, Hyrox, ultramarathon running, obstacle course racing, and pretty much everything in between. My name's Tom. I am a 42-year-old dad, British Army veteran, coach, and ultimately I'm just on a bit of a mission to prove that the best way to get after some of just general life and just live a happier, healthier, more energetic lifestyle is to set yourself hard challenges and then get after them. And now hard is clearly a relative term, and for what is hard for some people might not necessarily be hard for someone else. You know, getting your first park run is a hard challenge for someone, whereas for someone else, running an ultramarathon or doing an Ironman. And so it's really important that we address that up front. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video, to be honest. I've done some vlog type posts about the team and getting down to Hyrox Birmingham and some testing and stuff. I've also done my cool down chronicles, which is basically 10 minutes of me talking on a subject and giving my thoughts and opinions. But today I thought I'd try something different. And so this is going to be a bit of a longer video. And basically this is a series of sort of questions that I've been asked either over the course of the week or on an Instagram poll or whatever. And I just thought, why not give some opinions, some evidence-based stuff, some experience, and just ask those questions. So I would be really, really overjoyed if you want to get involved. Just post up in the comments on this video anything that you find useful or anything that you want to know, and we'll jump straight in. It's already getting a little bit warm in here. Better crack a window. And we'll see how things go. Okay, to start off with, we've had a couple of questions on fueling. Fueling on a long ride. What are you going to eat on the turbo trainer today? How would you fuel a long session? So we're going to dive straight in and talk about fueling the long sort of session. Now I am settling in here for a 2.5 hour turbo training session, which I know couldn't be further from what you might want to do on a nice Saturday morning, which is when this is being recorded. But this is all part of my Ironman training for this year. I've got several Ironman events, a couple of 70.3s, at least one Ironman full distance, maybe two. I've booked it, but I need to see if it clashes with Hyrox Birmingham. Couple of backyard ultras, 100-kilometer ultra. Anyway, suffice to say that there are going to be some long training sessions. And with fueling, it's really important that you actually practice, because if on event day you start eating things that you've never eaten before, you are going to start to have potential, not all the time, but stomach issues. You're also not going to absolutely dial in. If you don't dial in your nutrition, you're not going to have any confidence in what you're doing, right? And that you'll have the energy to sustain you. So it's really good to practice. Now these long turbo training sessions here are perfect for that, because I can have things laid out in front of me, which I do, right? So I've got a couple of bananas, I've got rice cakes. Absolutely love a rice cake. Anyone who knows me knows that I love rice cakes. Rice Krispie Squares bar and Haribo strawberries, the giant strawberries. I've also got a whole bottle of electrolytes in here, and I've got a water as well. And having all of that food, or these types of foods, on hand would be really cool to just graze, and I'm sure that would be absolutely fine. But this is the difference between using this part of the season to understand what your body needs, what your body wants, and what you actually enjoy eating. Some people can't stand eating bananas on a long session, or Rice Krispie squares or whatever, and they just want to go and use gels. And you'll see, purposefully, I don't have any gels. Like, I do use race nutrition from Precision Hydration, and the race nutrition I use is the gels and the blocks and all of that stuff. But I'm going to start practicing that probably a little later as I start to build up towards the big races. So for now we've got this. However, like I just said, we can have all of this out and just graze and pick and stuff, but it doesn't provide you any sort of repeatable structure. So I like a little bit of structure. So the first thing that I would always recommend is, on your watch, set yourself a timer, okay? Understand what food intake, carbohydrate intake you're gonna try to take on each hour, and then set yourself a timer. Now, the timer that I have set is every 20 minutes because I want a carb intake right now for this type of session. I want a carb intake of somewhere around 60, maybe 70 grams of carbohydrates per hour. It might go a little bit below that, it might go a little bit higher than that, but I want somewhere there or thereabouts. But if I just try to eat it on the hour every hour, it's too much. The volume of food is too much, but also, like, I'm eating like one of the same thing or loads of the same thing, and my energy is just gonna fucking go up and down all over the place. So I like to break it down into 20-minute blocks. Might work for you for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. So it's just really important to practice that. So first and foremost, setting the alarm, and I've set my alarm for 20 minutes. Then it's about understanding what you're going to eat. Now, like I've said, I want to be somewhere between the sort of 60 to 70 grams of carbohydrates per hour, which means I want to break it down into about maybe 20, just over, grams of carbohydrate every 20 minutes, in line with the alarm that I've set on my watch, and I know that that works for me. So I've written it down. Now, usually I would have a little whiteboard that I hang up here. However, for love nor money, I cannot find it. And I think my son Harrison, although he swears blind he hasn't, I think he may have taken it for some kind of project somewhere and then lost it. So we'll get another one on order. But I write it down, okay? And what I've written down here is that I know that a banana of this size is about 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrate. I know that a squares bar is 27 grams, 4 Haribo is 36 grams, and then 3 rice cakes, because let's be honest, I'm not just eating one, 3 rice cakes is about 33 grams of carbohydrates. So if you work that out, each one of those is about somewhere between 20 to just over 30 grams of carbohydrate. And so every 20 minutes, I will eat either a banana, a squares bar, 3 rice cakes, or 4 Haribo sweets. And that is just the simplest way that I can break it down. Now, I also fueled prior to getting on the bike. So I had a big bowl of porridge with a scoop of protein powder, because I know that that works for me. And so the bottom line here is that there is no one right way. There is no perfect fueling solution. You have to figure out what works for you. And I know what works for me is every 20 minutes with a variety of sauces that I can palate. And yeah, that should keep me going for this 2.5 hour session. Okay, on to the next one. And this is not necessarily related to this long ride, which is really cool, okay? I like a bit of variety. But this question is, what is the biggest myth in the Instagram fitness world? Oh my God, where do I start? There is so much out there. There we go, look, I'm only 20 minutes on. 20 minutes and it's time to eat. So I'm just gonna cut this off and I'll start eating. Okay, there we go, banana done. And we can get back to the question. So what is the biggest myth in the Instagram fitness world? I think the main problem is that I'm of the belief that the vast majority of people out there, whether they're influencers or athletes in their own right, or just people trying to get a bit fitter or whatever, who offer advice online, whether it be Instagram or any other platform, they're doing so for a positive reason. Like, I believe that even the coaches out there who talk about the extremes, and again, you know, I'll be careful here, because I'm not someone who talks negatively about other people. But I think that even those coaches who offer the extreme views, which, spoiler alert, that's what I'm going to talk about here, are doing it for a positive reason, because they believe that they can help people develop their fitness, their health, their well-being, and they will live better lives for it. And so because of that, you know, they go after clicks, likes, and attention. And unfortunately, in this day and age, the thing that gets clicks, likes, and attention are extreme opinions, extreme views. Don't do this. Are you still doing this? Then you're a fuckwit. Like, whatever they say. And I think that can be really damaging, because for the vast majority of us, like, you don't need to stick to one particular extreme protocol or another. For the vast majority of us, there is not going to be a single way that is going to be the thing that unlocks your potential. Because for the vast majority of us, we're just trying to be the best versions of ourselves, right? We're not Olympic athletes. We're not getting paid, you know, based on our performances. We're doing things for a longer life, to have more energy for our family, and to build memories. You know, ultimately, if you're anything like me, the best memories that you built with your grandparents were not watching them get old, sitting in a chair, but it was like racing up the steps of Dover Castle, you know, line dancing with your gran. They're the things that genuinely I remember, and they don't happen by giving up and going to the extreme lengths of whatever is right and wrong. Now, of course, there are some basic principles, you know, and abiding by those basic principles and such is going to be really important, but it's the extremity. That's what I think the biggest myth is. Don't do this. Always do this. Like, you'll see in quite a lot of my posts, I will give an opinion on what I think is a decent idea based off of my experience, my qualification, based off of the current research, and I will then caveat it with, or don't, I'm not your dad, right? Because I don't think that there is much meaningful progress to be gained by sticking to there is only one right way of doing things. So in answer to what is the biggest myth in the Instagram fitness world, it's the fucking extremes that people put out there. And it's the don't do this, do this. And if you look at anything with a completely polarizing view, the chances are you are going to be missing the real magic sauce. And that is the sustainability and that comes with doing things in a moderate way, not trying to stick just to the extremes, because that is what builds consistency. And ultimately, consistency is the thing that builds results. Okay, we are half an hour in, full warm up done, and I started to sweat, so the top's come off. Yeah, I'm such a sweaty git, It's why electrolytes, water, just so important. Okay, on to the next question then. So we've got a couple on what type of sort of events do I enjoy. So we've got what's your favourite type of event, and what is your favourite actual event? Oh, okay. Jesus. I think they're actually quite tough, because I started all of this probably about 12 years ago. Like, I'm not going to go into my whole life story, but I was relatively naturally fit growing up. Always got involved with sports, joined the army, and then a few years in, sort of realised that I was getting more sedentary, desk-based jobs. And a couple of other things happened, including the death of a grandparent. And we used to have little banter about what it took to be fit back in his day in the army versus my day. And the long and short of it was, I told him that as I'd done a sprint triathlon, I could do an Ironman. And he said I was all mouth and no trousers, and then very sadly he went and passed away. And it had a real profound impact on me. So for the very next year I entered 2 Ironman triathlons. And what I didn't quite realise at the time was just how much of a profound impact that was going to have on the rest of my life. And so for the last 12 years, I have done, oh my God, you think of it, I've probably done it. So we started off with Ironman, then I moved into shorter course triathlon, I moved into ultramarathon running, then I was going for the marathon as a distance, and really the focused work that comes with that. Then lockdown hit, and in 2020 I started, well, in fact just before lockdown I'd started CrossFit in a local CrossFit box. That carried on through lockdown as I did more and more of that type of training in my kitchen, lots of skipping. We did, I was doing obstacle course racing before that as well. Interestingly, what got me into skipping was I knew it was something that I could do at home during lockdown, but also the lads and I had entered a 20-mile obstacle course race run by an events company called Rat Race, but it was cancelled. So we decided for charity that we were going to run a 20-mile obstacle course race in our back garden, and so we did that. And I decided that every 10 laps, it was 10 laps, I was going to do 10 push-ups or 10 pull-ups, and then the next 10 laps I was going to do 2 minutes of skipping, make it interesting. So I had to learn how to skip. Anyway, I digress. And then, so I carried on with that strength work, did a lot of CrossFit. Then 2022, I did bodybuilding. I did physique bodybuilding. I was 38 years old, and just thought I'd give it a go. I saw one of my former soldiers, Wayne, always a shout out to Wayne if you ever watch any of my stuff, for getting me into it. And I just got into bodybuilding for 7 months and did 5 shows in the end. And it was an amazing time. Like the dieting, oh my God, just terrific. I was commuting an hour and a half most days, there and back. I was in the gym 5 days a week, cardio 6 times a week. Like, I was absolutely ruined, but you know, I did all right. Ended up picking up some trophies and stuff. And then after that, I hit Hyrox. Love it, absolutely loved it. And then decided one day that I wanted to give triathlon a go. I'd started coaching a few triathletes because that never left me. I was coaching triathletes for a few years, and just decided that I wanted to take up the mantle. So started last year with some 70.3, and this year we've got Ironman. But then this year, like if I think about this year, I've got sprint distance triathlon, 70.3 distance triathlon, Ironman distance triathlon, backyard ultra format, 100 kilometer ultra format, Hyrox, and probably some obstacle course racing in there as well. So I've got a mix of everything, and I think that's the point just now. I enjoy it all. I just enjoy putting myself in the locker. I enjoy the training. I enjoy the racing more than anything. So what's my favourite type of event? Fuck. Do you know, it's really difficult. No. I'm probably going to say ultramarathon running, because it takes you to a place where your mind has an opportunity to give up before your body does, and you have to do something about that. You have to have the the discipline to go on, to keep moving forward. A very famous quote from Dean Carnegie is, I think talking about Ironman, but it's very, very true. And that is that run if you can, walk if you have to, crawl if you must, but never stop moving forward. And I think the ultramarathon gives me that. Just, if you've got the ability to put one foot in front of the other, you can keep going. And I think I like that endurance side of it. So I think in terms of my favourite type of event, I would say ultramarathon. Yeah, for sure. However, in massively stark contrast, what is my specific favourite event? And I will say this, out of everything that I have done in the last couple of years at least, Hyrox, and most specifically Hyrox Birmingham, has been the one. Last year, year before last, 2024, I did a pairs event with an athlete of mine who wouldn't have even dreamed, having worked with each other for 6 to 8 months, he would have never dreamed of taking on a Hyrox, and he did. And that is really cool. Same competition, or same weekend. I did solo, but I did solo alongside another athlete of mine. That was amazing. And then this year, or last year, 2025, we had 12 athletes. There's a YouTube video about it. Like, go and have a look, spend the weekend at Hyrox with us. And just to see the life change in everyone, oh my God, it's just been absolutely remarkable. So I would say that would be my favourite event. And the person who asked this, and hopefully she'll watch this, the person who asked this raced there herself in a pair, and just absolutely smashed it, and then went on to smash it even further in London a few weeks later. So Amy, thank you very much for your question. I absolutely love it. Here we go then, 40 minutes in, the rice cakes have started. I absolutely love a rice cake. We're on to what is, this is a very hard question, I think, because the scope for upsetting people may be a little bit high, but we'll see. We'll see. So the question is, which clients do you turn down and why? Now, this is referring to coaching clients. Like, this YouTube channel is not, it's not necessarily designed to to just talk about my coaching and what we can do and stuff, like, because ultimately, if you're somebody who wants me, and I'll say it now, if you're someone who really wants me as your coach, you'll find me, you'll talk to me, and that's it. Like, you'll see what I'm about, and you'll enjoy it, and you'll resonate with it. It'll resonate with you, and you'll just sign up, right? Because the adage that people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches, like, that is absolutely true. So if you resonate with me, great, and you'll reach out. However, there are, of course, as is alluded to in this question, I don't know, restrictions that I place. I don't work with absolutely everyone, and I think my golden rule is, if I think I can help you, I will work with you to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. That could be, you know, ultramarathon running goals. That could be Ironman, Hyrox, running, 5K, whatever it is, right? If I feel I can help you, I will work with you. But I have to be selective, because there are those people who I don't feel I can help. And that might be for several different reasons. What you want to achieve has to fit with my outlook on life, training, coaching, all sorts. And if you're looking for a quick fix, if you think that 8-week shreds and just getting a fucking PDF for 8 weeks will sort you out, you'll stick rigidly to a meal plan, and then everything you could ever want is going to come true, you're not for me. And more importantly, I'm not for you, because we will just be fighting against each other. And that's not what a coaching relationship should be about. I'm after longevity. I'm after teaching you some systems that will mean that whenever you stop coaching, and I hope that is not for, or I hope that is in a long time, that's always the goal, the aim, you can go it alone and you can feel comfortable that you are a changed person, that you can live your life in a energetic, enthusiastic, positive, healthy way and make decisions that serve you. So if you're after a quick fix, I don't think I can help you. If you are looking solely for aesthetics, I'm probably not your guy. I'm not a bodybuilding coach. Yes, okay, we can, going up a hill here, we can understand the principles, and we can, I can program it, and my nutritionist Adam will help you out with your nutrition. But if you're just here for aesthetics and bodybuilding, the chances are I'm not your guy, right? Body transformations in terms of like stepping on stage and that, I'm not for you. And that's not a judgment. Like, bodybuilding coaches are incredible. I had one myself, and James was fantastic. He got me to where I needed to be to compete. And in my first ever bodybuilding physique competition, I came fourth. I came second at a national level competition, and I came fifth at an international competition. It's just incredible. And massive kudos to my coach in that time. But that's not who I am. So I don't think I would work with anyone who that was their prime sort of aim. I want you to feel what your body can do, not necessarily what it looks like. And of course there's a byproduct. Of course there's going to be a byproduct. You consistently stick to a whole food, nutrient dense diet. If you want to lose fat, we'll put you in a slight calorie deficit and all sorts of these things, and body composition will absolutely follow. But I'm more interested in what your body can do. I want you to be fitter, faster, stronger, and that's why we aim for events. But I think also, if the vibe isn't right, if you don't trust the process, trust my methodology, my ethos, I'm the coach, and what I want to impart on you is my experience, coupled with qualification and learning, education and research and all of that stuff, then of course, all of that is valid. But fundamentally, who I am is how I coach. I'm personal. I want to get emotional, but I want you to trust me, and I want to be able to build that trust. And if I get a sense through conversation, or even in the early stages of working with you, that there isn't that trust and we can't build that relationship, well then that's no reflection on either of us. It's just probably not going to work. And I think that is where maybe the maturity of being slightly older, maybe my 22 years in the army, maybe my long career as an army officer, I don't know what it is, but that authenticity, that integrity that I have, that's really important. So yeah, ultimately, if we're not going to be able to build that trust in relationship, and that communication is off, then, and you're constantly making excuses as to why you can't do the thing that I've asked you to do, and constantly challenging me, then we're probably not going to work that well together. So yeah, tough question to answer that. Hope I did it justice. Not everything on a long ride is going to be easy. Bit of a hill. Let's get to the top. The latest eat alarm has gone off, and it is time to at least start cracking open the Haribo strawberries. Haribo strawberries, they have to be the best Haribo, right? I mean, if you're paying attention, why not comment below? What's your favourite Haribo? Okay, we are about an hour and a half in. Let's have another question. Are there any quick and easy ways to boost protein intake without a scoop of protein powder? Again, I take issue with the use of the term quick and easy, because ultimately the quick and easy way to boost your protein intake is with a refined, readily available, easily absorbed, bioavailable protein source, like a good quality protein powder, or even vegan protein powder. So I use Combat Fuel for all of my sort of sport supplementation needs, and my vitamins, my sleep, my protein, etc. So if you're looking for a quick and easy way to boost protein intake, whey protein powder or clear whey or whatever, like, that is the quick and easy way. But I'm all about not necessarily just finding the quick and easy way, but about finding the sustainable way. So when it comes to protein intake, literature suggests that the primary factor in your protein intake is not necessarily the timing. Like, there used to be this, very well thought of metabolic window, and people are like, you've got to smash a protein shake 2 minutes after you exit the gym, otherwise you're not going to get the gains. And that has been debunked. But instead, all up protein intake over the course of a day, a week, etc., etc. But predominantly, if you just take the day, right? And again, it depends on what you're trying to achieve, your individual circumstances, and this is why I have a nutritionist, both for me personally, but who works with every single one of my athletes as well. But if you're trying to, for argument's sake, lose body weight or lose body fat and try to, maximize muscle maintenance and retention, you want to be shooting around about the 2 grams per kilogram of body weight mark each day, which, for me, I currently weigh 85 kilograms, right? So I'll be looking at the sort of 170 upwards to 180, 190, if that was indeed my goal. My goal is not that, it's more performance, therefore my carbohydrate level is higher. Anyway, that doesn't necessarily answer the question, because it's a difficult one to answer. So firstly, I would say don't look for the quick and easy way. Like, there's no point in looking for the quick and easy way of boosting your protein. Look for the sustainable way over a whole week, and that is lean protein sources such as chicken. Chicken's the fucking goat as far as I'm concerned. Lots of lean skinless chicken breast. Oats for your breakfast can be considered as having protein in it, but then you need to try to live by a sort of fundamental rule that you want to try to, if you can, spread your protein out over the course of the day. And that's not to do with metabolic windows, that's to do with sustainability. Like, if you try to put 180 grams of protein into any single point over the day, that's going to be difficult. But if you spread it out over the course of the day and maybe have sort of 5 meals, 30 to 40 grams protein in each one, it's much more sustainable. So it's not about being quick and easy, it's about being sustainable. And sustainability, in my view, comes from planning. Plan out what you're going to eat and then eat the plan. So when it comes to protein, plan out what you're going to have. Are you going to have some yogurt? Where's your protein coming from? Are you going to have some yogurt first thing in the morning? At lunch, are you having chicken? Are you having a snack of some lean beef jerky? Are you having yogurt after your dinner? You can do all of that. But I would say don't discount the whey protein powders as a supplement, because there's nothing wrong with them. And if you get a good one, I mean, such as my recommendation, which is Combat Fuel, like, I mean, it mixes with yogurt. Oh my God, it's like a pudding. I love it. Yogurt, scoop of protein powder, cookies and cream's my favorite from Combat Fuel, a load of frozen berries on top. It's a perfect snack or pudding. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I've answered that, but hell, you know, that's what this is about, isn't it? Bit of honesty. You know, there are no quick fixes as far as I'm concerned, but there can be sustainable ones. So yeah, hope that helps. Hey, so we're into the last 15 minutes of the ride, and I tell you what, this has absolutely flown by. So I've got 2 more left. The first one is, what is your favourite non-fitness hobby? Oh, it's a difficult question to answer, because fitness and the pursuit of fitness and the things that I do because of my fitness are my hobbies. Like, I love mountain biking, I love road cycling, I love running, I love working out in the gym, I love Hyrox, I like hill walking. Like, all of these things are made possible because of my health and fitness. And so when asked, like, what's my favourite non-fitness hobby, I don't know. I don't have that many. I mean, I used to be really into drumming. I used to absolutely love drumming as a hobby. I started on the snare drum, played in a military marching band. I played at Twickenham, and all over the country. Absolutely amazing. Used to love it. That was part of my boarding school, Duke of York's Royal Military School. # Sons of the Brave. And yeah, I used to absolutely love it. But even that, it's made so much easier when you're fit. Like, you look at like Travis Barker, okay? Absolutely incredible drummer, fit as you like, and he is running ultras and stuff like that. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really have one. Skiing and snowboarding, or less a hobby, and again, that's a sport. But pretty much everything in my life is pointed around fitness in some way, shape or form. I like taking the dog for a walk. I like playing out and about with my son, of course. But again, fitness makes that much easier. So is that a hobby outside of fitness? I don't know. I like playing Lego. There you go. I like playing Lego and building Lego with my son. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry if that's a rubbish answer, but I guess my entire life is built around my health and fitness, which I don't think is a bad way to be. I mean, it's going to keep me the youngest person in the, it's going to mess that up. It's going to keep me from being the youngest person in the nursing home and keep me being the oldest person in the gym, right? I mean, what more can you ask for? And now we are on to the last question, and there was a couple in here, like all about the difference between and the synergies between discipline and motivation, right? How do you stay disciplined when motivation is waning? And I believe discipline is more important, but does motivation have its place? And I think that, again, I don't, like I mentioned earlier, I don't necessarily deal in extremes. I don't think, you know, I don't think that it's helpful to think of one thing or another and that, and there's clearly a lot of blurred lines in there. But what I will say is that when motivation strikes, absolutely use it and abuse it, right? Because it will help you ride a wave. It will help you jump on the bike when you don't necessarily have, or you haven't necessarily have wanted to before. It will help you start. But motivation is fleeting. It is often really fleeting. And this is not me just going to be shouting affirmations at a screen about how you've got to maintain discipline and you know, stick to it and embrace the grind, because I think that discipline is also really difficult to maintain when you don't have the systems in place to help you naturally maintain that discipline. And so one of the things I talk about often is making things as easy as possible for yourself, making things fit inside of a system. So when motivation isn't there and discipline is breaking down, you can utilize the environment around you to help you. You can make sure your gym bag is always packed so that there isn't a friction there. Make sure that you've always got water available so that you can make hydration easier. You know, keep your phone out of your bedroom so that you're not going to be tempted to doom scroll before you go to bed so you can get a good night's sleep. All of these systems help you when motivation wanes and discipline breaks down. And if you aren't willing to put in the effort to cultivate some of those processes and to try to craft your lifestyle so you effortlessly move the needle forward and just push on, then I think that's where like you're going to come unstuck. And so if you're going to apply a discipline to a thing, and this is where motivation will absolutely play the part, because motivation to get yourself out of the door to the gym or get onto the turbo trainer for 2.5 hours. I mean, look, who wants to jump on the turbo trainer like I have today for 2.5 hours, right? There's no way I wanted, I was not motivated to jump on the turbo trainer for 2.5 hours. So what did I do? I recorded this video because I knew it would keep my mind occupied. I knew that I could, look forward to answering a load of questions that had come in and talk and preoccupy my mind. I made that system work for me. Now I'm on 2 hours and 22 minutes and the time has flown by, genuinely has flown by. And so it's a system that I'm going to keep putting in place, right? And I know not everybody is going to be up for that. I mean, not everyone wants to create a YouTube channel. Not everyone is a coach. Not everyone, has even Ironman dreams or targets to hit. But this is me right now, and this is what I'm doing. This is the process that I've put in place. So I think that when we talk about motivation, it's a really useful tool, but it is just that. It's just a tool. It's fleeting. It will get you started, but it's not going to keep you going. But then discipline's not going to keep you going either. And that's where the systems comes into place. The processes that you do. Getting a training plan, having some accountability, getting a coach who can plan out your racing year, your strategy, so that you have high volume and low volume training, so that you can have periodization that helps you work on specific things at specific times, maybe, or a linear periodization, which just helps you increase the volume and intensity over time, getting prepared for a particular race. All of those things, all of those systems in place are going to help you. And they're the things that are going to help you see results. And then it starts to become this cycle, because you start doing the thing, right? And it happens all the time with New Year, New Me. People start because they feel motivated, they feel inspired, they feel enthused. And then they maybe go too hard. They don't have the right processes in place. They don't have the right systems. And when they've gone too hard and they start to fail or miss sessions or whatever, and they don't get the results that they had hoped for, well, that then becomes a problem, because they can't see the results. So the motivation wanes and they don't have the processes to fall back on, so they don't do the thing. And then they definitely don't get the results, and the cycle is just like a positive feedback loop. However, if you can use the motivation to get yourself started, to put in place those systems, jump on board with a coach, get yourself an accountability buddy, get yourself an actual program which is going to push you forward, then you are going to put those systems in place. You will start to see progress, which then automatically feeds back into your motivation, and you're going to be more enthused. So therefore you're going to be maybe more disciplined at times, because you've seen the result, you know what it yields. So I think the talk of motivation and discipline and the differences between the two and how they back each other up actually miss a big part of it, which is systems and processes. So I would say, in conclusion to this question, which is going to be the last of this video, Use motivation to set yourself up with the processes and systems which mean that it's easy to maintain that discipline, because that's how results are made, through those consistent actions. So yeah, there we go. So there we go then, team. We are coming to the end of our 2.5 hour long ride on this, what is now absolutely glorious Saturday morning. Thank you so much for listening. I said it in a previous little clip there, but the time has absolutely flown by, so I really appreciate it. If you want to see more stuff like this, let's pop into the comments what kind of things you want me to talk about. You know, any questions, it can be on health, fitness, life, motivation versus discipline, whatever you want. Okay, or maybe go over the same subjects again, just maybe with a slight little twist. Okay, entirely up to you. Thank you so much for your attention. Do all of that, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Find me on the socials, coaching.tc. Yeah, I've got nothing more. Cheers guys, take it easy.